How is everyone doing today? It is August 24th of 2021 and we have another pepper to show. This is another one you won't see seeds for. It's a cross-pollinated type that happened in our yard. Happened last year actually, and we didn't want this pepper back this year, but we accidentally planted the seeds from the cross, so this would technically be an F2 variety. It's a cross. It was supposed to be Courbacki. When we grew the Courbacki last year, they were from our seeds from the previous couple years that we had been growing and saving the Courbacki pepper, which is a elongated sweet pepper. What ended up happening is it crossed with a Reza in 2019 season. So the 2020 season, it was a Courbacki crossed with one called the Reza Macedonia. The Reza Macedonian is a pepper that is a kind of an ugly pepper. It has striations that go around it. It's a really pungent pepper, one that we were really found unique and liked to grow, but it ended up crossing with our Courbacki. So last year, we didn't know that the Courbacki started coming out looking normal, and when we tried them, they were hot. This year, we took a Courbacki pepper that wasn't from those seeds and seeded it, and we're hoping that that one hadn't crossed with anything either, and we would get true to type Courbacki. Well, I made a huge accident, and when I planted the Courbacki from the pod that we had stored away, it was actually another one of those Courbacki / Reza Macedonia peppers that we had from last year. I just misidentified it as a Courbacki in our pantry. So we replanted the exact same cross seeds and ended up with this. Found out the hard way once again out here in the yard. Took a Courbacki. Some of these are coming off with less heat and some of them are coming off with more heat. The Reza Macedonia that's crossed into this, you can see the striations on the side. The Reza Macedonia means engraved or embroidered, so it's almost like the striations that will show up are running sideways. They're running like length, or not, instead of lengthwise with the pepper, they're running horizontal down the pepper. So it almost looks like ancient writings or scribblings on a scroll or a wall, or engravings of some sort. That's why it's called the Reza. The Courbacki pepper would look typically like one of these, maybe a little bit thicker. But this is a cross between the Reza and the Courbacki. The mother plant would have been a Courbacki. I guess we're kind of lucky to get this in our yard. Some of these are actually not hot, and some of them are, but this is the Courbacki and the Reza are both highly disease-resistant, strong-producing plants that can produce hordes and hordes of them. So we decided we were going to just save a couple seeds purposely of this variety, find true to type seeds for the Courbacki next year. But we're going to leave a couple pods on. We're going to take the rest off and probably dice them into chunks. But I'll go ahead and cut a bunch of these off for pickling is what we're going to end up doing with them. But I would try to do a video on the peppers this year that's less than 10 minutes. We are huge fans of, I think that one too.
Yeah.
If I get a bunch of these off, the rest will start ripening a little bit better. I really like how some of these are showing up because they're like twisting like a Dr. Seuss around the thing here. Maybe that's what we should call it, the Dr. Seuss pepper. But we're calling it, this year we've just been calling it the fortune pepper or the misfortune pepper. You don't know if they're hot. The striations are a good indicator of how much heat's in the Reza, and we think it's a pretty good indicator for which ones of these are hot too. This one's got to be unwound. Here, I'll hand Angel these real quick. We just started to do this video and had a big hawk come flying through the yards, bang against the fence trying to get to the bird, get to a little bird. It's pretty cool to see, but those big predatory birds come around, it's kind of a little bit shocking at first. What do you think, this front one?
Yeah.
That back looks pretty good too. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. At least, that's 13. There's at least 13 more peppers on the plant. We got a good sized handful of these. We'll probably put them into chunks. You can see the striations from the Reza pepper that has been crossbred into this on accident. So this would be considered an F2 variety. F2, talking to somebody online recently, is the out of all the generations and stuff, is usually the most diverse or changeable. So there's these. Sometimes these are hot, sometimes these aren't. Sometimes these are wide, sometimes they're thin, sometimes they're curly, sometimes they're straight. It's really just almost like a fortune cookie, but instead of a fortune cookie, it's a fortune pepper. So you can have misfortune, you can have a good fortune if you like heat, don't like heat. It's really, really cool. It's kind of twining all the way around the vines. So when the plant's staying upright, it's got these peppers that are keeping the center of gravity. Really cool. And that one's really cool right there. Can you see that one? How it's curled around. Look how big this one is. So the Courbacki is an excellent pepper. I'm a little disappointed we don't have true to type Courbacki. Some of these taste similar. We can kind of tell that they have the cross in them. Still extremely usable. It's a cross variety of pepper. This is the Misfortune pepper, or the Fortune pepper. August 24th, we'll take these in real quick. Alrighty, so check this one out right here. This one's all dried up. Look how many wrinkles are all over that. It's almost like paper mache, like frayed together. But this is one of those two. Even the ones that look like Courbacki and taste like Courbacki, we know for sure came from the exact same pod where the crosses are coming from. So this was accidentally supposed to be Courbacki. Again, this is our second year in a row. I'm thinking that I'm going to save seeds off the pods that are out there that look cool, even though they're not true to type, and just call it the Fortune pepper, and maybe never use the seeds, maybe never do anything with them. But if I don't save the seeds from this, it's going to end up in the yard again maybe. So all we really plan on doing with these, I'm not going to do a taste test probably in this video. This one is really hot because you can tell by the weird shape of it. Plus, up close it's hard to tell, but it's got a lot of striations on it. Here's a couple Jimmy Nardello that we're also saving seeds from at the same time, and one of the carrot crosses that we're also going to throw in there. But we're just going to take these. Here, I'll go ahead and toss this one in my mouth, just the very end of this one. But these have a really pungent thunder and lightning heat a little bit. Considering they're really low on the scale, they pick up the heat really quick. Yeah, down at the bottom it's really mild. I can sense it in this one though. We have noticed the lighter the color, the thinner the pepper, and the less striations means less likelihood of heat, but it doesn't mean no heat. So this one right here could be a hot pepper even though it looks just like a Courbacki, and that's the problem we've ran into. There's a little bit of that pepper end rot that I was telling everybody about. Blossom end rot on peppers a little bit. This is where an area where it was down touching the ground. I'll just go ahead and cut that part off. If you start having that, you just find where the rot is. See where I cut it right there? You can see it's a little bit coming up still, so I probably didn't clip it high enough. But if you clip just where it's starting to browning out, and make sure you pay attention inside and make sure it's not browning up farther, then you're good to go with the rest of the pepper. The rest of the pepper is perfectly usable and fine to use like that. That's all we're really going to do. We're just going to take these, cut them into nice little chunks like this. We'll go ahead and seed the Jimmy Nardello. This is the Fortune pepper. It's just us, another unique variety that grew in our yard that's crossed. Won't find seeds for it anywhere. It's a cross between a Courbacki and a Reza Macedonia. We got some more pods out there. If there's any major changes or anything great about this pepper in the future and stuff, I really can't recommend to grow. I mean, you won't find seeds for it. It's a cross. And if you were to grow something similar, I would say try to find a hot one, or try to just go with the straight Courbacki if you want it sweet. So the Courbacki is one of our favorite peppers. A little disappointing we didn't get it in the yard this year, but these will make good little spicy chunks. I think putting it with this sweet pepper in the pickles will, these Jimmy Nardello are so good and they're so sweet when they're like this that it'll really add a lot of flavor, dumb the heat down a little bit, and make some good little pickled pepper chunks. So the Misfortune pepper, or the Fortune pepper, however you want to look at it, an accidental cross in our yard that made it to the F2 stage here. I'm not sure if we'll ever grow this one or grow it next year, but as you can see, it's like the Kourbaki and Reza, which are two highly productive peppers, and it's looking good. So we love you guys, and I'll take you outside for 1 second. All right, August 24th of 2021. We are absolutely not professionals. This video is probably just more for fun. We like to have as many different varieties of pepper and tomato in our vlogs, and other varieties of veggies as well, so that each year we can say we did. So far we have done 8 tomato videos, testing videos, and I believe 6 pepper videos. So this is our 6th or 7th pepper video overall. Get in here really close. It like curlicues all the way around the stem, really cool. Or they grow super straight, possibly with a little bit of a hook on the end. Almost like a fish hook, like you could catch a pepper fiend outside your fence, just throw it over there and make sure you have some line tied to it, and as soon as you catch you a pepper addict, you can just go ahead and reel them into the yard, have them try out all your hot peppers on videos, and save yourself a lot of pain and heartache. Super productive. These plants doubled up. We have 4 of them, 2 and 2. We wanted so many Kourbakis, we did 2 buckets of 2, and none of them are Kourbaki, but that's all right. It's important that you find positives in these things. Another positive is it's super interesting. I mean, some of these shapes on here are just bizarre. When it starts getting the Reza color, it starts looking almost like stains on a brick wall. Like if you got a bunch of weather stains and it starts to run down, you almost get like rust staining on a cement wall. You can't see it in the video very well. There's striations all down this. The more striations, the more heat. That's true with the Reza, and it's been true with this cross so far. So a lot of these pods will come out true, but coming from 4 different plants, or they'll come out with less variation hitting their F3 stage, but with them coming from 4 different kinds of pods, it would be tons of variation. So just a really unique pepper, something cool. I'm not too disappointed. We'll get the Kourbaki next year. The Jimmy Nardello really hit a home run for us as far as filling in the place for the Kourbaki, which is probably Angel's favorite sweet pepper. The Jimmy Nardello has kind of taken that spot, but I don't want a couple bad grows to ruin it. So finding a lot of interest in this random cross pepper. Yeah, it looks like an icicle. It's just pretty much straight. It's UT and Angel, August 24th of 2021, and this is the Fortune cross pepper. So we love you guys. Tons more coming in still. Super busy over here. We're trying to keep up on videos, but we'll catch you next time. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Those are gonna make good pickle chunks. Nice. Look at that. How long do you think that is? That's probably 13, 14 inches.
I have no idea.